It's always a pleasure to have you join us on this platform conversation. And each day we take on head-on a very important issue. Today we're going to look at something that concerns not just women this time, but men as well. Ask me what it is, and I'll ask you to listen to the news. On daily basis, we hear news of paternity cases. It seems to be, rearing its ugly head more today. I don't know why, but as much as it is ugly and depressing, it is fast growing. It's becoming a cankerworm, really, and we want to find out why. There is a link established to not just ladies' infidelity, but also male fertility or infertility, however you look at it. I don't know how real this is. I don't know how we can mitigate, against it, or how we can go around to make sure that family, which is the smallest unit of the society, is placed on a secured angle. Today we'll be looking at that, paternity cases and male infertility or fertility, however you look at it from. And we have a doctor who will be sharing that with us and educating us more. He says he's a lover of women. You'll get to find out why, but let's have the women say good morning first. Hello.
Good morning, it's good to be here. My name is Joe Panachi.
Okay.
Good morning, my name is Maimuna Umi Abdullah.
Good morning, my name is Divan Hamatiyomom.
All right, Director, if the doctor is ready, can we move and say good morning to the doctor?
Good morning.
Hello, good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Nice to have you. And you're ready. I did already introduce you as a man who loves women because you work with women.
Indeed,
and,
I love
you
women.
ensure that women are well taken care of. And maybe you tell the world why I say so, because of your profession. Share your profession with us.
I'm a gynecologist and I've practiced for quite a while. I am presently retired from the National Hospital.
All right. Let's quickly take our first feature and get to find out the paternity cases. Is it really on the increase in Nigeria? What does the news say, Ehi?
It is no longer strange to wake up to the news of one paternity saga or the other. Perhaps one might say that the advent of social media has further made this popular. From all our celebrities in diverse fields, this seems to be a trend now. Indeed, the list is endless. And each day, if I must say, more crop up. Indeed, we are confused. If you aren't confused, I am confused. But perhaps the guest in the studio will tell us more.
guest in the studio, I'm confused too. I don't know if you're confused. I am. You know, but while that was going on, Devon called my attention to the one that happened recently abroad.
Yes, the story, I just stumbled upon it last night. A police officer, I know that 6 lives were lost. So I didn't really follow it through because it was somebody else that was doing a commentary on the story. So I didn't really get the story itself. But apparently, whether 3 or 6 children, I've forgotten which, how he came to the realization that all 3 kids were not his, let me go with 3, that all 3 kids were not his, but rather his father's child, his brother's child, and his son's child. So people might be getting confused. What I'm saying here is the police officer's wife had made children with her father-in-law, her brother-in-law,
Wow.
and her husband's son. Now, this husband's son, I don't know if was also her own child or a grown son from a different woman. I don't know. But what happened was the man was he lost his mind with pain and
Set the house ablaze.
set the house ablaze. You know,
With
all
everybody
lives were
inside.
lost,
Oh,
everybody,
yeah, all of them.
including him.
his father, his child, his father, the
Except his
children,
brother.
that son, his brother, and I don't know if they were all living in the same house. Like I said, it was somebody else that was commenting on
Maybe they all
on
came
the
visiting,
situation.
he said no
And
more.
when it's not a journalist speaking, you know, when you're a journalist, you try to cover everything. This person was just talking as an everyday person, just speaking from a place of shock. And because the story was so terrible, I didn't bother digging any further.
Wow.
But this is something that happened in the United States recently.
Okay, it's such a shame, but I'm wondering, Joy, from your perspective, why do you think this is increasing? Some think that it's because of the presence of social media, so the news is more. It has
Yeah.
always been there. Is
Yeah.
it true?
Yeah, I think it's
It
always
has always been there, like now.
It's always been there, but I think those days, people never used to do DNA.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, so people really didn't know, because there are sometimes you go to certain houses, you realize that the kids are either looking like the
Neighbor.
washerman, either the neighbor or the driver, and you're wondering why all those kids look alike and they're not looking like their father. And you know, the next thing you hear, oh, you know, the genes, my parents' genes, you know, there are some people that are light skinned, some people who are dark skinned. You know, I had a friend in school and I just thought she had nerves. Why do I say that? You're married to a man that is dark skinned, you're dark skinned, then you start to sleep with a white man. You get pregnant. If I was the one, because I know I'm sleeping with 2 men, one is dark skinned and one is another one, I will terminate the pregnancy. But guess what? She had the audacity to have the baby. And of course, when the baby came out, the baby was screaming, white. And of course, from that place, the man left her. You know why I really felt for the man was that this was somebody that the family castigated this girl and felt they knew all she used to do. But this man stood by his wife. The least she would have done was to try, after you're married, to leave certain things. But like I say, when this is what you do, you really can change. And it's getting, I won't lie to you, it's getting worse. But what Devon just said now, brother, father, son.
I mean, it's too
No,
much.
I think the lady is demonic. I'm sorry, I don't have.
No, but you know what I'm saying?
I
even
don't
if the
have the
woman
words.
is, no,
It's even abomination
but
to sleep
sis,
with your
my
father-in-law.
darling, if the woman is demonic, what of the people,
Yeah, that she was sleeping
the
with.
family that she was sleeping with?
So
And
that's
you know,
the thing, I don't know what to say.
no, you see, the thing here is that there are 2 things for me. Either the men, something is wrong with their service and their wives are going out, or they are in agreement. Because I know some men are in agreement for their wives to tend to father children. But the problem I'm having is that they are not telling their families that they have a problem.
Yeah, they
Because
rather,
if
they
you,
would rather do
because
that than
if you
tell
tell your mother you have a problem, she will not keep going after the women, and the women will rather have kids from somewhere else.
All right, let's see. Coach Didi,
Yes.
I don't know. When these things happen, I know it's not part of what you do, your coaching. But I know that as a mental health coach, you also encounter these things. But let me even start from asking the women you coach. I don't know if you've been able to meet any one of them that feel or tell you why they do these things.
Well, I haven't had this particular case of having a child, but I've had women who have actually talked about having extramarital, who have actually slept with other men in their marriage. And to be honest, most of them say it in shame.
Oh, they say it in shame?
Yeah,
Oh,
they are
that's good.
ashamed of it.
That's
They've
good.
done it, they're ashamed of it. But the truth is, to be honest, most of them were actually sex starved.
Oh,
You see,
That's
I am
what I'm
not
saying.
trying to take away the blame.
Yeah.
There are women who are married to men who don't touch them. A woman told me that her husband had not touched her for 9 years.
how?
I swear to God
But
Almighty.
what of the ones that they are touching?
No. No, well, I don't know about that. I'm talking about the women I have met, because that was what they said. Another one said her husband she had not had sex for about 4 years, another for 6 years, and they are legally married.
Are they
They talk. They
Are
talk.
they you in the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
They talk. But he would just not touch her. Now, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse for infidelity. But I think the men should also take responsibility. There are men, they say that I remember a few years ago, a man was saying, he has this new wife, he has not touched his first wife for the last 2 years. How can you even say it? Even if you're doing it. And
You
I remember,
brag about it.
yes, and I remember I said, no, I think the thing is, the man said she had not had sex for 2 years. I said she has not had sex with you. There is a difference. Because if you can say you're proud of the fact that you've not had touched your wife for 2 years, I said, yes, she may not have had sex with you. We don't know whether she has not had sex. And it hurt. And I wanted it to hurt. Because this is a bragging right for men to abandon your wife. And I tell women, look, if it's not okay, you cannot handle it. That's why you should walk away. Walk away. You do not have to go that route. Leave the man. Find someone else. But there are women who have been able to take it. There are women who haven't had sex for years and they still stay there and who are actually faithful, right? But it's sad. But I really don't know about any case of
I
falsehood
want
of
to
marriage.
chime in on what she said. She, at least, she's talking as a professional, so people are coming to her in that capacity. I was racked with shame. I will never forget subsidy riot, subsidy protest, whatever.
Fuel subsidy.
Fuel subsidy protest that time. It was that particular day. Myself, my husband, and I think 2 other friends, we were in the Wuse axis. And one of them said, oh, I know such and such a person. Let's pass through his house. We're all thirsty and everything. It's if hospitality demands that I feed you when you enter my house, So let's go there. We'll get some refreshment.
And you didn't call.
So we went. We went, and yes, of course, they quickly rushed around, got prepared good pounded yam, everything.
Wow.
And, this lady came out graciously, short notice, served us food, did everything and all of this. And in the course of that, somebody now teased Madam that she was looking a bit more robust than usual. Oh, is something in the offing? To my shame, I wear that shame like a dress to this day. That man told us that we should ask his wife the last time he passed through her door.
So they don't even share a bedroom.
No,
they can share a bedroom.
Obviously,
Their
he hasn't touched
door
her.
is-
He's trying to tell them.
okay,
Imagine
He was bragging about
not touching her.
how long he had not
So she cannot be
touched her.
pregnant.
So she cannot be
Yes.
pregnant.
So she
In
cannot
front
be
of
pregnant.
visitors.
Yes,
In front of
visitors. It's a
visitors.
bragging right.
I was entering that house for the first time in my life.
And that was your
Myself
last
and my husband. So they had never met us before.
Even if
And
they
this
did.
man freely said that thing.
Which is a sad reality for many women.
And
It
I
is-
kept
it is.
asking myself, why? This woman is in the process of serving visitors that came in at short notice. Graciously, gracefully. There are women that will do that thing with such a frown that you'll be afraid of eating that food. She's here trying to play the good hostess, even if you people have issues.
She didn't
It's
mention
not our
it.
business. We're not supposed to know that day. But the man just told that we should ask her the last time he passed through her door.
So if somebody wants to offer, she will freely offer.
So what does that mean?
So why blame her?
Anyway,
just
let's
to
go.
what Coach said, in case people are thinking it's absurd
It's
or
absurd.
it's weird.
It's a
And
bragging
then
right
I don't
for many
understand.
men.
Why will any man brag that he doesn't touch his wife anymore?
he's a man.
Are you
Why don't you let her go?
advertising to other men that she's free, she's up for
No,
grabs?
nobody can have her. You won't have her and nobody should have her. That's usually the...
And if she leaves, she's now the bad person because she was not able to sustain her marriage.
I think that's why some of them tend to have kids from other men to really spite many men. Because I've had a friend who said, oh yes, you can't have me. The ones that want to have me are having me. And what I'm giving you back is the pain.
Wow.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's deep.
the truth is we intend to find out issues around this and link it up with the male infertility or fertility. Now, I know a couple who got married not too long ago, and before marriage, the man insisted on going through the church process of not testing or sampling the products before marriage, to have the consummation after the marriage. I'm not against it really, but then after the wedding, the night of the wedding, the man was praying and speaking in tongues. And the woman was asking how far.
No, most of them know.
Nothing happened.
They know.
Eventually, I heard from another source
it doesn't work.
that the man knew he had issues, but didn't know how to tell the girl. I said, why even go to a marriage when
Exactly.
you know? I said he found out after he had already given out card in the course of
It's a lie.
That's a lie.
It's a
I
lie.
don't know
That's a
if it's
lie.
true
It's
or
a lie.
not, but he was scared.
It's a lie.
So we'll go back to the doctor to find out. All the women are saying it's a lie.
I didn't say it's a lie. I don't know.
Well, let's
It's
go
a
to
lie.
the
There's
doctor.
no way he found out only when the marriage was
No,
imminent.
no, it's when he gave card. He said
That was when he knew. It's not possible.
Director, please, can you connect us with the doctor? I want to find out, doctor, if you can hear me. When there is no child in marriage, and women are often blamed for it, is it always the woman's fault? Is it that men, do not have issue with siring a child? They don't have fertility issues?
Men have fertility issues also, almost equally as women. And I would not want us to use the word fault. If there is a problem, a challenge in a family, it's something both of them should own up to and face the challenge together, rather than apportioning fault. And it's in the light of apportioning this fault that we are now having these issues that we are discussing. And the contribution of men to fertility is actually equal to that of women, and we have noticed scientifically now that male infertility is increasing. Several reasons have been given for that. The major one is the environmental factor. We know that the sperm quality of men over the period of time has been declining. So the infertility in men is more pronounced now. That might account also for what we're discussing and people trying to find a way to help.
All right, doctor, thank you. It's good to know that we're not all crazy when we say men too are to be blamed, and the ladies here are, lending their voices really high. I want to find out, when you say the increase in men, infertility is on the high, I want to know, can you tell us, pointedly, some of the reasons why a man can be not, maybe have very low sperm count or be completely infertile? And then is it also reversible? There's a recent one I have heard, and I want to know if it's true or not, that a male child who suffered mumps as a baby and it was treated, it's possible when that child grows up, the child may not be able to sire an offspring. Mm-hmm. How real is this?
It may not be able to. It's not absolute. Mump is a viral infection as it affects the gland in the neck, which is the common site. It also affects the testes, and it can damage the testes, and nobody will know until when the child grows, and it might not be able to produce quality sperm to fertilize the egg. But it's not everybody. Some people get, even spontaneously without treatment, get cured of it without being affected. Yeah, some people have been infected with mumps, yes, may have infertility, some men, infertility problems, but it's not absolute. So that is true. There are several other reasons why men. Let's talk a lot more about the environmental reason. You know, there is increased infection in contemporary time because of the way of life in our contemporary time. There is increased lifestyle issues commonly. You know, when people don't take care of wrong diets, not exercising, those are factors. Being obese, not doing the right thing, and then being exposed to heat, you know, particularly, and then the toxins in the atmosphere because of environmental factors. Those things actually affect the quality of the sperm. And it's well established that over time, decade by decade, the quality of semen of men has been declining all over the world, not only in Nigeria.
You said heat. What kind of heat, doctor?
Yeah, there are some people who, by virtue of their profession, there is always heat around. You see, where the egg is produced is inside, because it can handle. But where the sperm is being produced, God made it that it should be outside, so that it will not be exposed to the heat of inside.
Okay.
So a long distance driver that is always driving with the heat of the vehicle around him, his testis is exposed. People who put laptop on their laps, the heat from the laptop is damaging the testes because it's supposed to be in a cold environment. People who wear some kind of underwear that actually create heat, you see. So heat around the testes, yeah, is a factor in diminishing the quality of the semen.
I don't know, can I, this leaves me wondering, doesn't that follow, therefore, that people in temperate climes, areas where you have snow and extreme cold weather, doesn't that mean that they should be more fertile?
Yeah.
When we talk about the temperature for biological function, it has a range. You know, it can either be too hot or too cold. Both of them are not good. You see? You can't have a biological reaction at an extremely high temperature or extremely low temperature. It has to be in a range. There's a range created, you know, so it should be properly adapted to.
Wow.
You know, Doctor, when you talked about heat, I still want to follow up on this because I really don't. I've heard a few things. I'm not too sure.
But the drivers tend to have so many
So the
kids.
drivers, yes,
They
I
tend to have
understand.
so many kids.
Of course,
though.
the laptop, when I put it here, it generates heat. But when you talk about the clothing, is it advisable for men to wear, you know, polyester brief, or they should go for cotton? Is it also advisable for them to wear regular pants
Boxers.
or go for boxers? Which works better to protect the testicles?
There is nothing absolute about any of these facts, but we're talking in terms of statistics. Okay? It doesn't mean all men who wear boxers will have better function than men who don't have boxers. We're talking in terms of statistics. So we will encourage men to wear loose pants, to wear something free. Okay? That's encouraged. But we're not making absolute statement that men who wear tight pants will have infertility. You know, that's not the statement here. But comparing this to this in terms of statistics, that's what we're talking about.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why does it seem as if the poorer, I'm sorry, I don't
You're
know.
very
which,
correct.
I don't know which language
You're actually very.
Poor
it
people have
seems
more
as
kids.
if the more economically challenged
Yes,
the
that's
person is,
is having
the
more
higher the
kids.
propensity to produce
Yeah.
huge quantities of kids.
Very
In fact,
quantity.
it seems as if the higher up the economic ladder you climb,
Yeah.
the more difficult. In fact, there are really wealthy people who are struggling to have kids, but then you go and see their relatives that are living you know, in one slum somewhere in Ajegunle.
Sometimes
And they have
planned.
15 kids and they're looking for relatives that they can even send some to help them with school fees and everything. So what is there, what gives? Is it that God tries to compensate the economically poor by blessing them with children and then depriving the wealthy or
No, not at all. Not at all. There are several factors.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be social, it could be psychological, several factors. Really, the bad diet are the expensive diets.
Wow.
True.
I don't know if you have observed that. When you use your money to buy this expensive canned food, you go to buy these fatty, unhealthy things, while a poor man will just pick vegetable by the roadside and cook together. So a lot of people spend their money, a lifestyle issue. They go to club, take alcohol, smoke, because they can afford it. And they are killing themselves, you know, while a poorer person might not. Apart from that, in terms of time, the richer people tend to be, they don't have time for the normal pleasure of life. Yeah. They're always working in the office for ages, while the poor man is always with his wife, doing the necessary thing he should do. And then the issue of family planning also, you know, the more educated, the more they want to take care, they want to have just two. Yeah. The uneducated, they don't have enough, some of them don't have enough knowledge to take care in terms of family planning and things like that. So they just have children as much as they can without using the proper thing to prevent having children. So many reasons. It's not God trying to compensate the poor by giving them more children. It's an issue of several factors. But I think the major one that the rich should pay attention to is lifestyle. Yeah. Those rich food, so-called, that people engage and indulge themselves in, they are killers. You buy all this sugary thing, expensive alcohol to show class. Yeah. Instead of drinking water, you want to drink some other things that are not healthy. They are killing you. They are killing you. The simple diet, as we have been given naturally, is quite healthy, and it contributes to everything. Wow. I think this is a major thing to pay attention to.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor, for that. I truly, as he was talking, my mind was going back, and I was thinking, I said, this is true. Because again, the very economically challenged, if I might borrow a word, people, they do a lot of exercises. Yeah. You know,
they go to the farm.
Walk. Yeah. They do a lot of,
they don't have cars.
When they do all those things, they sweat out toxins in their body, and they are better able to, you know, get engaged in the acts that will yield to reproduction.
Yeah. But I have a funny story to share, a very short one, that I've forgotten which country it is, that at a point they were so alarmed at the population explosion in the rural areas that they decided that they were going to buy television sets.
so that they'll be busy.
Because they felt that the men didn't have anything to do when they came home, so they were spending all their time in the other room. So maybe if you distract them with television, it was a valid option. It was something they were really looking into. I don't know. I don't even know if they were just yabbing those people or if somebody was making a joke, but I stumbled upon something like that one time.
But right now, I think it's kind of scary. Like after I had the doctor, because you see these expensive things that your parents are taking, the kids too are taking it. Yeah. So you now find out that after generation, because of this, all these things they're taking, they now realize that there's something wrong with them, and they can't have kids. And that's why I think so many people tend to marry, many wives. And most friends of mine, I think the men come to Nigeria to get married. And it's so strange that before they marry these women, some of them are already pregnant. And I don't understand how a woman who is already pregnant is now, because there was a story. What was the story? She got pregnant, but she didn't know that the guy could not father a child.
Oh, no.
So by the time they got... Sorry?
She got pregnant for someone else.
She got pregnant, but you see, you know, when somebody comes from Obodo Ibo and he wants to get married to you, you know, it's
enticing.
It's that, yeah, you know, she went there to do nothing. And the guy just realized that every day his wife was big nose, big lips, big body, big stomach. Then fight started. And when the fight started, because they had already done all the process of, he had already filed for her. And you know, it saddened my heart because after she filed, she threw the man out of the house. But because I thought that was wicked. Because you knew that he wasn't the man that fathered the child.
But he knew he couldn't father a child, and he wanted to marry her without telling her either.
But excuse me.
No, I mean, they're both
It doesn't
wrong.
make, no, see, it doesn't make it right.
No, it doesn't make it right. I'm just saying.
You understand?
I'm
Yeah,
just
on-
saying.
on
Let's
both
also
On
sides,
both
not.
sides.
they're
So
wrong.
why
Yeah.
are you throwing the man out of his house?
No, that's a different
no, that's a
ballgame.
different
I'm not
thing.
So
talking
you
about
see,
that.
so this is the thing. Most of this situation is deceit. Everybody is lying. Okay, if a man cannot father, how many men go to the hospital
That's
to go
the
and
thing.
check
Yeah,
That's
they don't
the thing.
check.
that they have a problem? But the problem now is that your family down there and your mother will not let this lady breathe. Because most of the time they said, we didn't know that we have 2 men in the house. You see, so men should start telling their families
They will
that
They
times
will
have
not.
changed.
They will not.
They will not.
They will not.
Okay.
Men
Then-
find
then-
it hard to accept
Okay,
that
if-
they have infertility issues
If
because
they
it
don't
makes them
accept,
less.
if they don't accept, the driver, the cook, and the other ones who father their children.
You see, the thing with the men's situation is
Yeah.
the fact that they're infertile doesn't interrupt their virility,
Yeah.
their capacity to engage
Yeah.
in the act.
Yes.
So many of them, being infertile is not the same as being impotent.
Potent,
Yeah.
yes.
And I think many men are under the assumption that as long as they can engage in the physical act and something actually comes out, it means they're okay.
But you're firing
There's-
bullets.
But they don't know that.
No, hang on. There's a lot of ignorance,
Yeah.
even with women's bodies. Basic biology, health science that we did in secondary school that helps me to know when something sounds fishy. You'll see a full-grown person that has passed through university. A woman will be talking about something and your mind will begin to be like, did you pass through the 4 walls of any school at all? So I think many men think that because they can engage in the act, they are okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they don't know that, no, that is not what determines your AK or your okayness. Is the lady able to get pregnant?
By your
And
act.
by that act. And if you have not been using protection and you've been meeting a range of women and nobody
Has
has
never come to tell you that
to tell you
you're
that,
picking here.
ah, guy, I think maybe there's something, maybe it's time. And then, you know, we also have this nasty culture as a people. Generally, somebody is sick, any kind of sickness, you know, you're feeling ill, you start
you're pregnant.
taking medication. The minute the symptoms disappear, you quit the medication. Instead of taking the
So the
complete
full
dosage
course.
as prescribed by the doctor. It's the same thing with STDs or STIs. The minute people notice that there's something wrong, many people will not even go to hospital, male and female alike. They'll
Self-treatment.
just treat themselves based on what they think it
it
could be.
destroys you.
And then they will not even complete
the dose.
the regimen.
Yeah.
They won't complete what they're supposed
don't
to
even
take.
go back to
They
the
stop
hospital.
halfway and they keep mistreating and all of these things for men and women alike are destroying things inside your body.
Okay.
People are afraid, are ashamed of going to tell a doctor, this is it. And going to a doctor is similar to, well, the Catholics, we go to a priest for confession. You are not supposed to be ashamed when you go in front of a priest.
Just
He's
like
not
you go
supposed
to
to
a
judge
doctor.
you. The doctor is also not supposed to judge you.
I
They are
really
just
found
supposed
out
to
that some
take
of
your
the doctors
information
really have
and
worse
treat you.
sickness. They have worse sickness, you know, to the patients, but they are not bothered about it. They are taking care of themselves. You know, a lot of people are writing in here. I think somebody seemed to agree with you, Joy. Some women have full knowledge of a man being impotent, but they still go ahead and marry the man because of the money. And then at the end of the day, they complain. It's so sad, really. I would want to know, you know, if I get into a situation where I'm tricked and I want to, you know, bulge out, is it wrong for me to?
What?
No.
Of course not. But which is the sad reality. Many men lie about this. They hide the truth. Because some of them do know that they can have children, but they don't tell their wives. It's
Some
very
know.
common. Some know, but they
some
don't tell.
know.
And you have a right to
during,
divorce.
During COVID, I think I think that was when there was a lot of issue, you know, because most of these men, you couldn't go out, you know, so the only option you had was your wife. So the same wife you were running away from, they were trying to do stuff. And you see, the thing here is, most of these people have underlying sickness. So even to get the erection is a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting down, I'm wondering, why should young boys be having?
That's maybe the doctor.
Yeah,
will be
no,
able
that's
to
why
tell
I'm
us.
saying it, so that because I'm sure I'm going to ask it.
And another thing is, young men that are fine are taking aphrodisiacs.
Yes.
Enhancers.
That's it.
I think it's meant that's for old people, really.
Yeah, but they are
old
fine.
people?
They are fine.
It's wrong.
Their anatomy is working fine. But
No, they
out of stupidity, I
No,
don't
it's
have
not
any other
stupidity.
word.
They want to do plenty round.
That's why it is stupid. You know, there's this girl, she has been so difficult. I've been chasing her for 6 months. I want to deal with her. Then they'll go and take something, and then before they know it becomes a habit, and you are okay, you are fine.
Yeah.
You don't need this. When I was a teenager, we used to find these things funny, because back then, you know, they'll come for trade fairs, and then all these herbal practitioners would come, and then 2 days into the trade fair, you'll hear that there's one small boy stranded in General Hospital with an erection that won't go down because he went and bought one concoction somewhere.
In trade fair?
Yes. This happened when I was a teenager in Makodi,
Oh.
you know, and they told him to take this much, but because he was expecting, he wanted to deal with that girl, he decided to take a full cup.
And the girl didn't show up.
And she didn't show up.
So that's a problem. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the doctor to actually answer this. There's a whole lot of questions coming in here for the doctor, but let's find out. This person says, "Good morning, my name is Justina, texting from Port Harcourt. Thank you so much. I have learned a lot from your program. I enjoy your teachings. Thank you." Another one tells us, he says, "Please, my husband goes to the gym and takes steroid to help him build his muscle. Can this affect his..."
Yes.
I'm not a doctor, but I know that.
The doctor will tell us more.
Steroids are not...
Doctor, the lady is
My God.
asking a very sensitive question. Can this affect him?
The issue of virility is psychoneurological. It has several contributions. Yeah, to answer that question straight, steroid, can destroy the system, you know, and affect virility. The simple not being a good state of mind can affect potency. The man in trouble or trouble mind might not have erection. What is troubling him is more than the excitement of erection, you know, and to the fact that there are several hormonal components, and then people abuse drugs. That's the steroid you mentioned. And then some of these drugs destroy some part of where natural hormones to help this process are being produced. So people abuse the so-called traditional drugs or natural drugs that most people don't even know the ingredients of those drugs. It's take a shot of this, take a shot of that. And that's why we're having an alarming prevalence of kidney issues and so many organ issues, because they are damaging issues. They are damaging drugs, content that people are abusing. So yes, some of the drugs, particularly you mentioned young boys, not having erection. Yeah, smoking different things and abusing different drugs. Yeah, there are issues. It's a big social issue, apart from being medical, that we actually need to address urgently.
All right, doctor, I'll still stay on you and take this question. Somebody says, "I'm enjoying the program this morning. Please help me ask the doctor. I have impregnated 3 girls, but last year I started feeling somehow, so I went to the hospital and ran some tests. I was told by the doctor I have a low sperm count. The doctor said I'm still fine. I want to know if I can still father a child." And then he added, "My fiancée, I got her pregnant last year, but she took something and she lost the pregnancy. I really want to know if it's also possible for me to still have a child."
Yeah,
With a low sperm count, can he still make babies?
definitely. With a low sperm count, a man can still have a child. All it takes, one sperm cell, and men tend to produce millions at once. But he needs just one sperm cell to meet one egg, and they join together to form a baby. But God is so gracious, he gave men in millions. But the mystery of it is that despite that the men produce millions, the others help that one to get to where it's supposed to get to naturally. But science is available now that even if it's one, it can still be used for you to father a child. Low sperm count, yes, can still father a child.
Is it advisable that if you have low sperm count, you should be distributing it? Don't you think you should save?
Well, one of the social challenge, is only a girl who comes to a boy and says, I'm pregnant for you. You don't even know who is the father. That's the discussion of that, who's responsible for that pregnancy. She's just telling the man. Because we have several cases where men don't even have any sperm cell.
Yeah.
And they will boast to their wives that many women outside have told me that I got them pregnant.
How do you know?
How are we going to confirm that he was the one who really got them pregnant, So it's a matter of somebody coming and pregnant for you. It could be anybody, So until you do the test before we are sure that this is your situation, and then we can address it. As long as we have sperm cells, you can still father a child.
Right. I'm bothered about the mobility of the, spermatozoa. How does that, relate with infertility or fertility in men?
Yeah, there is natural fertility, and there is, will I call it artificial or assisting fertility, where IVF is available now, where people can be helped to get pregnant. In natural fertility, you need the sperm to be mobile because it's traversing a long path to get to the egg. So if it's not mobile, it won't get there. So if there is mobility problem with the sperm cell, naturally, the man might not be able to get the woman pregnant.
Sorry, doctor, what is
mobile? Can it be corrected? Okay, you want
what's
to know
for the ordinary layman, what's mobile?
When the quality of the sperm is being assessed, one of the things that is assessed is the number. And that's the one that is common. People will say, I have low sperm count. Okay. But apart from the number, you assess the movement of the sperm cells. Okay. There are some who are not, they are there, but they are not moving. Okay. You can't do the work. So you say, it's immobile. And then there is the third characteristic, the shape, the way they look. There are some, they are there, they are mobile, but they are deformed already. They can still do the work. Okay. That's the characteristic that actually determines the quality of the sperm. The count might be normal. If it's not mobile, it will not perform. It might be mobile. If they are deformed, it will still not perform. So in examining the quality of the sperm, many parameters come into it.
Okay, that's nice. A whole lot of lists of questions here. Let me see. A lady lied to my brother severally, being pregnant, all in the name of getting money from my brother, knowing he's not man enough. Wow. And she added, some of the girls are comfortable staying with a man who can take care of them, but will be going out of their marriage to have children for another man. But in line with this, there's a small soliloquy we'll just look at, taken care of by my people. Can we have that, director, if he's ready?
How can this be? I know my diagnosis. Or was the diagnosis wrong? But it couldn't be if 3 different doctors confirmed that I can't possibly father a child. Wait, so you mean this woman is cheating on me? Ha! What disloyalty and insult to my person. Do I confront her? But then, she will know about my inability to share children. What do I do now? Huh. Or I could just keep quiet about it and accept it as God's plan for me to have children. God, please tell me what to do. I am very confused. I am confused.
It's a sad one, you know. That when that was going on, I could hear you shout, "What arrogance!"
Yeah.
Because the man is.
You can't father a child, you are still asking questions. No, excuse me. You should tell her the truth. Then so both of you, the woman is lying, the man is lying.
You see, for a
So
man,
it's all deceit.
for most men,
Yes.
the ability to father a child is what makes him a man. So many men will rather keep mum than accept that they cannot father a child. Then because then what is he then? Sadly, it's a sad truth. I believe many men who find themselves in that position will keep mum.
No, but you see, the other thing that there was a movie I just watched, you know, and what was the movie about? It was this. The mother did not even tell the child that the man was not her father. So it was when it was time for the wedding, the real father came out and he broke the child. Unfortunately, the real father that has been taking care of that child, that was when he found out. And she opted out that this other man that has been taking care of her
It's her father.
will not be the one that is going to walk her.
Really?
Yeah. She chose her father. Look, let me tell
She
you.
chose the biological
She
father.
chose her biological
That's not
father.
Why?
A man she doesn't know?
Excuse me. I always say these things. Certain things, parents and the people, mothers, should be able to. It's a difficult one. But make sure when they are growing up. But you see, the problem with the mothers, they don't want rejection. But excuse me, help the other man. Because now you didn't take care of the child. It's time for the child to get married. You show up. And there's this thing about the girl child and her father. There's this, the men might not, but the girl child, out of pity, she
What
took
kind
her
of
father.
pity?
To be honest, I don't understand that pity.
I don't
I
agree.
really don't understand it.
Excuse me.
And I don't honestly,
Yes,
sorry
I
to
agree.
interrupt. I still
Yeah.
don't, see, I know things have changed.
Yeah.
And my mind is still trying to understand. I don't know whether I'm naive. I have just never expected that you'll be married and you have a child for another man.
Thank
to be honest,
you.
my mind
My
still
mind
cannot
is
understand it.
completely off
You are
that
married,
thing.
they give birth to a child, and that child does not belong to your husband.
And you know.
How?
Well, the thing here is that at least she's lucky. The other two belong to the man. What of situations where you have all the children, not even it does not belong to the man that you're married to? What I think some years ago there was a situation where some secretary got pregnant. All the kids were for the GMD. And I think after a while, the guy couldn't take it. I think he found out. How did he find out? They were supposed to relocate. And you know, those things you have to find out, your gender, and you know, that was when he found out. And the guy was broken and he was very sick. I was very, very happy that the guy came out and he said it. And the GMD lost his job, because normally in this kind of climate, the person that is up there will not lose his job. No. But I think he died. The guy was broken. So the thing here is, parents should do their bit. Husbands should do their bit. Wives should do their bit. This life of deceit is destroying so many
Let me quickly
homes.
add something. You see, I understand women who have made mistakes in their lives. You made a mistake, perhaps your marriage wasn't going on well, and you had a one night stand, or you even had many night stands.
Yeah.
But if you do get pregnant, for God's sake, and you don't know who the father is, terminate the pregnancy, for God's sake. For me, I think that's more logical.
I don't agree with you.
Let me
Because if you don't even know who the father
Termination.
is, rather you don't have the child than give it to your husband as his child.
No, but you see, I would rather tell the man that, look, you know what? When we were dating, I was sleeping with somebody else. If you accept,
that's different.
No, that's what I'm saying. The
Yeah.
problem is that everything it boils down to deceit, because we never tell the other person that you're doing something. Because let me tell you, for me as a Christian, termination
It's a no-no.
That's where I'm coming to. Like, forget even religion. Nigeria has laws around termination. So let's be careful in how we're bringing it up in this particular conversation. Let's just err on the side of caution.
Yes,
however, I would say that I agree quite a bit with Coach Didi's stand. The fact that people will make bad decisions. We don't know what you are going through in the marriage. Maybe you are unlucky enough to be married to one of those that run around bragging about how they have not touched you in 7 years. You are a woman, you are still virile, you still have those urges. You find yourself in a position where maybe you're going to work and there's somebody there every day, even if you turn up in jeans and t-shirt, he's praising your beauty.
They use a damn condom.
Before you know it, you know, he begins to provide you small companionship. You start talking, maybe every now and then he gives you some money. Before you know it, one kind of weird relationship has started. You now do something. Something happens. Whatever the circumstance is, okay, you are now pregnant and you know that it doesn't belong to Oga. For me, I really think that some women are so active that they are not sure
who it belongs to.
Who it belongs
I
to.
agree.
And because they are also still active with the husband, they just hope it's the husband's own.
Wow. Let's quickly touch base with our friends online and then go back to the doctor for final take. Good morning to you. Or why is it that many women are too nag? Many women too nag when their husband is trying to consummate with them. Anyway, I think I understand you, and my simple response to that is, if your wife is giving you problem in the other room, I think you should understand that that activities in the other room actually starts in your sitting room.
Yes.
You have to learn to prep her up, pamper her, so that when you go to that side of the room, she will, you know, relax with you and get things done. But I can't take all these questions. There's so many of them. I have to do this after the program. But let's quickly go back to the doctor. Doctor, I'm not talking to you now as a doctor. I'm tempted to call you Mr. Ladikbo. As a man, if a wife brings home a child that is not yours, is it who trained or who sired? Should the man reject the child after years of training the child?
The culture, the society has several unclear definitions. And I've had several today in the discussion. Somebody said that the wife knew the man was not manly enough. Manly enough, just because probably he has some challenge with his sperm. That does not define a man. Sperm does not define a man. And then the issue of father, who fathered. The man who gets a woman impregnated donated just genes.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly.
Genes is the least of what makes a father. Is the least. So that a small boy can sleep with a girl and it doesn't make him a father in any sense. Okay? So when we are clear with the definition in terms of the society, when we really know what those terms mean, that's when we can actually address this issue. And then that's when we can have open discussion. As long as we cover it in all this shroud, people will keep on lying to each other. The major issue is lack of transparency about these issues. So, for me, my opinion is to be a father. Is more than donating the gametes.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. We just we nail it on just what you said. To be a father, you need to do more than just donate your egg. Yes. It takes more than that to be a father, and it takes more than that to be a man. On that lovely note, we say thank you for the lovely, lively show today. You guys were just bomb. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.